before you know it, you're 5 quest steps deep. You've got a bunch of armor, and you're staring down the shaft of an arrow.
Look, man,
Ritual.
power matters.
Power. If we ever get sponsored by like Preparation H or something, that'll be the call tag. Listen, power matters.
Power matters.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 233 of the Planet Destiny podcast, your official guide to everything going on in the Destiny universe. We are back with your roundtable of hosts, a duo this time. Started off by Mr. Danfinity.
Hello, hi.
Hey man, how's it going? You feeling all right?
I'm feeling great. Can't complain. Helped a bunch of people on stream today get different things, and yeah, getting back into the swing of it.
That's what it's all about. Oh, I'm good. And of course, I am the Black Link. And this week, we are going to be talking a bit about the things going on in Destiny, including Iron Banner. If you didn't catch the rolling intro there, that's what that was about. We've got some major changes that were announced in the Bungie Weekly blog. They're going to be making some changes to world drops that I think a lot of players are probably pretty happy to hear about, specifically armor changes and the like. And of course, we had some new content drop this week. Well, new air quote content. We had a new Seraph bunker go live. Did you have a chance to play with that, Dan?
I did. It was kind of it was interesting how they put that into effect. I know Aura had asked earlier in the month like how you would get bounties from one bunker to another.
Right.
And it was kind of how I thought it would work. I didn't know about the weekly thing for Earth, but yeah. The daily bounties just moved from Earth to the moon, and I was like, cool. That's the best way to do that, I think.
It was a pretty simple Patrick maneuver. They picked them up and they pushed them over to the moon, where we go to pick up bounties now. It was a little interesting. There was a little bit of confusion about that. Some people were wondering, like, oh, where did the Earth bounties go? Maybe some people were,
they never belonged to Earth.
Up there. They didn't belong there. They belonged on the moon. And pretty soon they're going to belong on, where's the third one's on Io.
Io. Right? I believe
yeah.
Io. Yeah.
Ugh.
So, yeah.
What a way to get us to go back to that planet. How many of you guys out there, sound off in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube, how many of you even remembered that Io was a place? I want to know. I never go there. I don't want to go with a green poopy planet.
No.
If I want to see green poopy things, I go to the Iron Banner.
Good segue.
Full
Good
circle.
segue. Yeah.
Full circle. Iron Banner was back this week. First Iron Banner of season 10.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this Iron Banner, we have what is the only ritual quest of the season, at least that we know of. The only one they've advertised thus far.
Yeah.
The Iron Banner quest for the Point of the Stag, I do believe is the name of that ritual bow. Did you have a chance to get it, Dan?
So yeah, I've run Iron Banner on 2 characters. The Iron Banner quest, as always, is super weird. I was confused that there wasn't.
Way to put it.
It's not super weird. It's just like it can be daunting.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
This time, I didn't feel like it was as daunting. I feel like they used for the weapon kill types, at least, they used weapons that are either in the meta or were popular to begin with. So, like, that was fine. Got a little annoyed by a couple of bugs with it.
Tell me, please.
Okay, so especially when I was working on the hand cannon kills, I finally got a routine down on the hand cannon kills. Just using Thorn, a lot of people were using it. I saw my loadouts for each thing were like, I use Thorn, then I moved to the Ikelos SMG because that thing still shreds.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I got a Wizened Rebuke that was pretty awesome. I got that on my Titan. And then once I got to the bow kills, I started using the point of the stag. Now,
Same.
I was not anticipating it coming from the Iron Banner bounty.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to handle that there.
Yeah. So what did you think of that?
I thought it was interesting. And for anybody out there who maybe hasn't completed the quest yet, we all thought that this was going to be the reward for finishing the Iron Banner quest, and technically it is, but you get it on the second to last step of the quest. The first step, I think, requires that you just go in. It's you're right. It was very simple for quest steps. They had not only did they make the kill requirements mostly weapons that were already meta. It was like hand cannons, submachine guns, fusion rifles, and then finally bows.
Yeah.
But they were all pretty achievable. It was like get 25 kills with a hand cannon. Okay, get 20 kills with an SMG. So it didn't take too long. But when you got to the step, after you finish the fusion rifle step, it gives you point of the stag and then asks you to get bow kills, which I thought was fantastic. That's exactly, I think, how they should do that kind of stuff moving forward, because I was dreading having to get bow kills before I got that weapon. And I thought that was a pretty good way to handle it.
So the more that I think about it, like these were tuned fine. I like but I can't say that I like the quest, because like it was just like go do this for a while. Oh, you got the thing, and now you have to like complete in order to talk to Saladin. Not only that, but you had to do the quest in order to turn in Iron Banner tokens.
Yeah,
which was bonkers to me. Like, but overall, at least they picked meta weapons. I still felt like I was a detriment in some of those, like heavy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Which I feel could be tuned different. I thought about this week. If they changed it to like your slots, like kinetic slot, energy slot, heavy slot, like get 25 with this kinetic, or 20 with energy, and then maybe 10 with heavy. But then again, that would also like reward people for camping the heavy, which we didn't want in the first place, right?
Yeah. I mean, we don't want people camping heavy, but it's 6v6 now. Of course, Iron Banner is a much different environment now than it was, pre-Forsaken. And of course, heavy drops for everybody in your team now. So it's much less of a problem of you, because the issue there before, because that's how Iron Banner bounties used to be. They used to be like, okay, go get these heavy kills, and it was like a nightmare because heavy only dropped for the person who got there. So you were fighting not only the enemy team, but your own teammate. I still think that would be a better system in Iron Banner now. Just say, okay, go get 25 kinetic weapon.
Yeah.
Good job. Go get 25 or 20 special weapon kills.
Yeah.
Get, I don't know, 20 close range special weapon kills. It can be like submachine guns or shotguns or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that was something that, of course, one of our co-hosts, Aura, was talking about on Twitter this week. He hates having to go into the Crucible and play with weapons that he doesn't usually use. It feels like a detriment to his team. And there's something real about that. We saw that a lot in previous seasons where, like, I think the best example was get rocket launcher kills in Iron Banner in a time where truth didn't exist.
Yeah.
Bad. It was just bad. And
or
I think they could probably... Oh, yeah, just sit there with Wardcliffe. Spray and pray, baby.
I just heard that so many times. Ugh.
Yeah. But I think in the future, this quest was, as far as Iron Banner goes, probably the least offensive Iron Banner quest that at least I've experienced for a while. I actually got this one done. As you guys know, I never finished the Iron Banner quest for last season, or I think even the season before that. I didn't even play Iron Banner.
Right.
This time around, I went ahead, got the quest done. It took me an afternoon from start to finish, so it didn't take that long at all. It's just a couple of hours of playing. Not bad at all.
Yeah, it didn't take long. This definitely rewards people who either don't have a lot of time to play Destiny during the week, or hate Iron Banner quests.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And so they tuned it, I think, correctly. The major problems were the bug where it wouldn't count progress in certain matches.
Percentage.
How many times did you have that?
Now, see, I didn't know that was a thing until after I had completed it, and thought to myself, "Oh, Well, maybe that's why the SMG section felt like it took so long.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you how many times it might have happened to me.
I've had at least 10 matches. At least 10 matches where it wasn't counting hand cannon kills, or one of them was for the bow.
Oh, no.
And it was like right toward the end. I had 7 kills and I needed 3 more. Loaded into the next match. All of them were headshots. And I was like, all right, 1, 2, and 3. And nothing. What? Nothing. And that's when I got hip to the bug.
Yeah.
And then started noticing it quite a bit more.
Oh, man.
It was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I didn't really. The only way for me to play Iron Banner is to not care one way or another how the games go. I don't care if we win. I don't care if we lose, because I'm a solo player. I'm going to get thrown up against a stack every game. And I did every game except one. Because we got beat so bad the game before. We got the whole, we're breaking up those fire teams for a more easy match. I've said this for years. You guys know, if you ever get that message, it means you're about to be put in with literal babies. You are about to get the easiest match, unless you were the winning team in the previous game, in which case, rest in peace. You're about to get the sweatiest sweat lords you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like, it took me maybe a game and a half to get the hand cannon kills done. That didn't take long at all. I just stuck with Last Word. I play on controller, so
okay.
Last Word is nutty. Go play with it if you haven't yet. I think the thing that took me the longest was probably SMG kills, surprising.
Okay.
Like,
what were you using?
Cannon kills, I was just using Recluse.
Okay.
And I think if I were to think back, that was probably, if I did experience the glitch at all, it was probably during SMGs, because I felt like I got a lot of kills, but it took way long. It took me like 3 or 4 games before I got the 20 kills or 25 kills required with SMGs. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I got a few more kills than that by the time it was all done. The easiest step for me was surprisingly Fusion Rifle.
Yeah.
I just whipped out Bastion. I was done in a single game.
Okay. Yeah.
I love that stupid thing. It's a great gun.
I saw a lot of that. Dude, next time, if there's SMG kills the next time, whip out your Ikelos SMG. I think it's fairly competitive. I went up against a lot of Recluses and tried it myself and just couldn't get into it. But I think the way that the Ikelos SMG works with the Seraph rounds, I think those are still pretty powerful and definitely something to look into in your loadout.
Well, remember in year 1 when it dropped with Warmind, the Ikelos SMG was one of the top performing SMG. It was like basically that and Antiope. That was basically it for year 1 SMG. So it's not like there's anything there that's changed. It's still a really powerful gun. Yeah,
it was part of my loadout for a long time, and it's that weapon and the Darkest Before have barely left my loadout now. And it's crazy to think that I understand like them sunsetting weapons now. Because like if I'm still using those 2 year 1 weapons to get positive KDs and stuff, then I don't know. It's pretty tough, man. It's they needed to do something.
Well, there's actually been a lot of older weapons coming back and taking over the spotlight as of late. One that's been really exciting this week is the Galliard, which is a year 1 auto rifle that got a Redux version with Black Armory a year or so ago. And that's kind of performing as one of the top tier auto rifles out there right now. If you don't run trials and don't get like a decent rolled summoner, if you've got a Galliard, I think it's like Galliard 42 or something like that. Yeah. And if you have the Black Armory version, it's got a bunch of random numbers and letters at the end of it. It'll be black. That's how you know you've got it. Yeah. You get one of those with like dynamic sway reduction, easily one of the best auto rifles in the game right now.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, if you got the Galliard back in year 1 of D2, you can pull that from your collections, play around with it. Really solid auto rifle. Seeing people like Astacross and I Am Cool Guy actually putting some stuff out about that one. Really good. Dynamic sway reduction is a fantastic ability.
Yeah. Also, if you're a raider, I got the Reckless Oracle. I got two of the same role this week, which I was really ecstatic about, with Ricochet Rounds, Mulligan, and Kill Clip.
Yep.
And that thing puts in work, dudes. in this new world of auto rifles actually being meta. It was pretty insane. It's worth giving a shot, giving the raid a shot at least to try to get, because I love that thing. I was using that during my hand cannon kills just to kind of warm them up a little bit before putting the 1-2 in with the thorn. It's very nice.
Yeah. It's funny how what old weapons are new again with the auto rifle. I was really happy with the way auto rifles perform.
Yeah,
I'm glad those are finally getting their time in the spotlight. Hopefully they don't get nerfed back down into oblivion. I think that most of them are probably in a pretty good spot right now, and maybe we just need to tune up things like scout rifle.
Yeah,
and maybe bows a little bit. But speaking of bows, you got Point of the Stag. I got Point of the Stag.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it? How did you feel about it?
I didn't know how to feel about it the first time I got it. It was fine. I didn't end up using it for my kills the first time around. I think if I remember right, I started using Hush.
Oh, Hush is good.
Yeah, I started using that, and it was okay. And I kind of slogged through it on my first character. The second time it dropped on my Titan, I don't know what it was about the match immediately afterward, but I was going off using it, and I really liked it. The Archer's Tempo mixed with Vorpal, I think. That was the combination for me that made it click, and I got bagged in a couple of games because I was using it immediately afterward. It was pretty fun. Something's going wrong if I'm getting bagged, because normally I don't.
It's just the what is it? The respect meal. They're just respecting your ability.
They're just pumping up that KD.
That's right.
Yeah,
I got it. Midway through a game, I finished my fusion rifle kills, immediately got it, swapped to it, instantly got 10 kills with it. I like it.
Yeah.
I think the combination you just said there, Archer's Tempo plus Vorpal, is probably going to be the killer app for that.
Yeah.
It's I was able to pull off some pretty nutty shots with it. It's a decent bow. I'm not much of a bow player in PvP, but I enjoyed the way it felt. I'm still hunting after Hush, and I think I'm probably going to be using this bow in Gambit to finish that bounty, to finally get my Hush. Yeah, because I like the way it feels. I took it out into PvE. I ran some some Seraph Tower events with it. It's a decent feeling bow. It's not bad at all. I like it.
What was the other one? On my first time go around, I used the Wish Ender in Crucible, and I forgot that it allowed you to see through walls. And I was like, oh, why didn't I think about this?
The only strategy more scummy than emoting in Trials of Osiris, whipping out Wish Ender and peeping on people through walls.
That's always been a thing.
It's always been a thing.
It's
good though. And because of the impact on Wish Ender, this is something Aura's talked about in previous episodes. That's one of the prime candidates for just a 1-2 punch. You just either blast them with a hand cannon, like a special hand cannon, swap to Wish Ender and take them down, or hit them with Wish Ender, swap to a hand cannon real quick, especially with stuff like Waking Vigil being as good as that is right now. Blow them away. It's bows are pretty good. They've got a spot there. Not enough people use them, I guess, because a lot of the maps we have now, especially the ones we got with Season of the Worthy, are close range maps. So you don't really have much of an opportunity to use a bow without getting the hard light express treatment.
Right.
But they're pretty good. They can be pretty good out there.
Yeah. I liked it. I don't use bows a lot in Crucible, but the Iron Banner one, if I decide to pick it up again, I guess. I don't know, is there a situation where you're going to use that weapon over something else, though?
Over stuff like spare rations, or, well, I guess it's a special weapon, so we'll go with special weapons here. Over something like Hard Light?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
That's what I'm thinking. And
yeah.
What was kind of confusing to me, at least with most ritual weapons in Destiny 2, it takes a while to get them.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thrown back that you got it from the Iron Banner quest. Not complaining about that. But normally, I would have at least thought, like, okay, ritual weapon is at least going to take me maybe 2 Iron Banners to get.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Very confusing.
I mean, yeah, you know, being able to complete that quest within an afternoon definitely shocked me.
Yeah.
I figured I'd be able to get it done over the course of the week, but you know, I didn't want to play Iron Banner for most of the week, so I started it up at like 11 o'clock yesterday morning and finished it by like 2. So I was a bit surprised by how quickly that went through, and honestly, how Iron Banner is never really great. And it wasn't a great experience playing yesterday, but it wasn't the most awful thing I've done in Destiny. Certainly wasn't as awful as Iron Banners in the past. I don't know if that's maybe kind of a weird Stockholm syndrome sort of thing. Maybe I've just accepted how bad Iron Banner is, but it wasn't awful. I'd be lying if I said it was awful.
It didn't feel bad. It surprised me how well the power level worked. Like power mattering worked. I'm 1K, I think 1K4.
Oh, I'm like 180 or 980. I'm like 982.
Oh, yeah.
I'm super low.
Yeah, well, it didn't really seem to matter. The curve on that isn't as harsh as I thought it might be. And like it kind of goes back into what Aura had said last week of it being like jumping into trials like sub 1000.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I mean, you'd be fine. Like, just jump in there and play and see what happens. But yeah, it was good. I had fun. I planned on having fun with my friends, and then I was like actually winning games and shooting stuff and killing people and getting bagged, and that was weird. It was fun.
That's what it's all about. And I mean, we all know the things that need to be fixed with Iron Banner. Matchmaking is always a problem with Iron Banner. On PC, cheating's big issue in PvP right now. But to be perfectly honest, it wasn't an awful experience. I didn't have to spend too much time in there. I got the rewards that I was trying to get. I finished the quest.
Yeah.
I still think it might be a little bit much to lock usage of your tokens behind completing that quest.
That was dumb.
Maybe you could ease up a bit on that, Bungie, but for the most part, this Iron Banner was fine. I didn't have an awful time. It's I got to play around with a bunch of different weapons in PvP. It's always
right. That was the two major complaints that I have are the bug that was stopping the stopping progression, and that not being able to use your tokens to grind out weapons prior.
Yeah.
That was something else.
And it's so weird because it's not even like Iron Banner is Destiny 1 Iron Banner where like you could just get powerful stuff nonstop from it.
Right.
They're tokens. You're going to get stuff that's basically whatever your current level is. I don't know why they locked that behind the quest. And it's not even like there's new gear in there to get. There's no new armor. There's no new weapons in there outside of Point of the Stag. So they could probably ease up on that just a little bit. They don't need to lock that behind.
Right.
Not that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but I'm not going to play armchair dev here.
Right. Overall, Iron Banner was meh. I thought I'd hate it. I went in, didn't have an awful time. About, a couple, 2, 3, maybe 4 hours of gameplay. Got a good weapon out of it. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah. I'm still going to do it on my Warlock. I think I'm on the fusion rifle kills now on my Warlock.
Yeah.
Because
you're basically done. Yeah.
I just need the pinnacles for those characters.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Like I said last week, I'm just trying to get those. And I'm well on my way.
Now see, I wouldn't do it on my alts.
Yeah.
I'm not running that quest again on my, maybe the next Iron Banner I'll run it on my Titan, and then the Iron Banner after that I'll run it on my Hunter. I don't really need to I don't really need to run it again for this week. I've had more than enough Iron Banner for 1 week. So I'm not as dedicated as you are, but
I'm a glutton for punishment. That's for sure. It's not even that punishing.
Yeah, well, it wasn't awful. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, which is nice. So, all right, moving on from that. Unless you had something else to say about Iron Banner, is what it is.
No, it is what it is.
Yes, Iron Banner. Did you have a chance to level up some of your new Seraph Bunker on the moon?
I did. I'm almost done with it. I think I'm 4 nodes away.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad. It's fine. I'm just passively doing it here and there. Not really focusing too hard on it. This season's kind of light compared to even Dawn. Compared to even Undying, I think it's kind of light.
Yeah.
So
I would say it's more comparable to Season of Dawn or to Season of Undying than it is to Season of the Dawn. I felt like with Season of the Dawn, we were doing stuff all the time, whether it was the Saint 14 quest, the changing stuff in the sundial. I think it was a bit more of an active season than this is. And then we talked about this in previous episodes.
Yeah,
it's pretty clear the focus of the dev team was Trials of Osiris for this season, and the Seraph Bunker stuff was. I don't want to say I don't want to say backup stuff, but it certainly wasn't the focus of the content.
Right.
So in that regard, that content is really just turn your brain off kind of content. It's that. You know, I've played a bit of the Seraph Tower thing. It's fine. I've leveled up my bunker just a little bit.
It's fine.
It's what I do when I'm turning my mind off and listening to a YouTube video. There's really nothing really on that front to even really talk about.
Yeah. I used Risk Runner on the Moon Seraph Tower event. Yeah. Just get scratched once. Haul ass. You're clearing the plate real quick. And especially if you're using a sword. Sword and Risk Runner are kind of pretty awesome in there.
That's one thing I will say that I've liked about this season. Swords, while I still think they could use some work, I still think they deserve way more ammo.
Yeah.
And way more sword bullets than what they can currently carry. I do feel like Bungie at least took some steps to make it so that swords were more viable as weapons in PvE and high-level PvE. Adding the disruption thing to swords, I think was great.
Yeah.
I love that. I love being able to disrupt enemies and champions by just running up and bum rushing them with a sword and opening them up for greater damage from my team. I like that. I think they've handled swords pretty well in current.
I think it's like 4 slashes with the light attack to get
quick.
To stagger an enemy. So hold on to your heavy attack until after it's staggered. But then I've been using it in Garden of Salvation runs around the relay, like in the baseball section. When you have to defend the relays, all it takes is like 1 swipe, 2 swipes on the Minotaurs to take them down, and it's like, why wouldn't you use that?
It's a better shotgun.
Yeah.
That can take down Minotaurs in no time flat, especially when you've got the buffs and all that kind of stuff. Good stuff. I like it. I like what they've done with swords. I think they've, it kind of falls by the wayside with a lot of the other things that are going on in the game right now. But I think some of the weapon balance changes that they've made have turned out to be pretty good. I was a bit worried about what they were going to do to shotguns. Nope. Mindbenders is still literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Shotguns are still very strong, especially since they added in a bunch of maps that are really complementary to shotgun play. So I like the sandbox changes that they've made thus far. They've been pretty fun.
Yeah. Did you play any trials this weekend?
No, I didn't. The only PvP I played was Iron Banner. Getting that done. Did you?
No, I didn't. I don't want Widow's Court is a pain point for me in my history in Destiny 1 in Trials, and I would rather not talk about that any further.
Yeah, and I saw a few complaints about Widow's Court and how exactly that plays with Trials. There's been some pretty interesting conversations going on about that. We don't have to spend too much on this particular topic, but a lot of people were talking about Trials and the matchmaking in relation to some of the things that were happening last week with the reward system for Trials, because you could get the shotgun at 3 wins. A lot of people were just getting 3 wins and then resetting which was kind of throwing the matchmaking out of whack. And I thought it was interesting. I wish Aura were here to talk a bit more about that, but
same.
Honestly, it made me wonder. I wonder if they should just change the way that their reward system is structured and make it so that maybe you don't get a guaranteed like weapon drop on the third win. Maybe it's just, or maybe even you get a guaranteed drop on the third win the first time you have a card, and then remaining rewards are random.
Right. Yeah.
Something like that. So that people don't have such a targeted grind. It was great for the people who were trying to get perfect rolls of their Astral Horizons. Maybe not so great for all the lesser skilled teams that were on like game number 2 and then going up against the Sweat Lords, because the Sweat Lords were never getting.
Right.
It was an interesting self-created issue with the reward structure for trials there that I don't think really anybody saw coming. And I get the feeling they're probably going to be addressing that sometime in the future. I think I saw DMGO4 talking a bit about that on some subreddit.
Well, we're supposed to get an update mid-month, right? Mid-April?
Yeah, mid-April. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with and before that, a hotfix coming on March 31st.
Ooh. Is something big coming in that hotfix?
We got a few things.
One or two.
I think one of the biggest things, Raiju's harness. They fixed that, so you can no longer infinitely whirlwind guard, which is sad for me as an Arcstrider player. They fixed an issue with upgrades on the season pass were only unlocked for one character and will now properly unlock for the entire account. They fixed an issue where the first weekly clear of a legendary lost sector would not award a powerful drop. Fixed an issue where Titan Season Pass arms ornament would block first-person view. Your shoulders are too big, bruh. You gotta stop working out.
Too square.
The Season Pass SMG and shotgun will now create Warmind cells with Season Pass ornaments equipped. They fixed an issue where Sentinel Titans were able to extend Sentinel shield, banner shield, by suppressing themselves. Ironic.
That one was funny. Yeah, you just toss a suppression grenade up in the air, pop your super, hold your shield, and when it drops, like the suppression grenade goes off, so it gets rid of your super, but it doesn't take you out of your super. So congratulations.
So you just still hold.
You just still hold it. You just keep your guard. It's great. It was funny.
Oh, that's wonderful. They also fixed an issue where not getting the correct amount of planetary materials. Where players were not getting correct amount of planetary materials from bunker upgrades. So
did you had a complaint about that, didn't you? I want to say
you get one. A small problem. You get one planetary material out of the box every time. It's not 1K. It's just like a single sad planetary material.
It was just the laziest. It was Kirkland's bot. What do you want? I want some planetary materials.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Here, kid, get away from me. You're bothering me.
Here you go. Get out. Kirkland's bot. Absolutely unwilling to do any sort of actual labor.
Yeah. So it looks like they're also continuing to focus to investigate disconnects, crashes, and error codes being reported since 2.8.0.
Thank you, because that's huge on PC.
Yeah. I even port forwarded and everything on PC, and still beavers, anteaters, the whole thing.
Just buried in beavers.
Yeah. Ooh. And so they fixed the deploy. The fix we deployed has appeared to resolve the crashes affecting Gambit, but didn't help with the other disconnects. So yeah. So
glad they're getting that worked on, because that's a major problem, and I'm fairly convinced the reason it's so bad on PC is because they swapped. At least it's speculated that they swapped over to Steam network sockets, which is again the reason why you can't directly farm people's IPs by joining their fire team anymore. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
that needed to change years ago. That needed to change in D1. So I'm fairly certain that might have something to do with it. Maybe not. Who knows? I'm glad that they're working on it.
And Steam did an update on Thursday, which I think some of that is affected by the COVID, like by the surge of people using Steam during like the shutdown and everything. And so
yeah,
they're seeing a lot more stress on their end as well. It's not just
there's a lot of people home playing video games right now.
What else is there to do? There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Finally.
Play games with your significant other until 3 a.m.
Finally, I have time to actually go through my Steam library, because I, like everybody else, I keep buying games on Steam.
Yeah.
I never play them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Steam sales, they get you every single time.
Every time. But yeah, so other than that, it looks like we're going to have, as part of a future update, several of the armor sets that they introduced back into the world drop pool will be getting Season of the Dawn and Undying mod slots. So, yes, that's a bonus. Like, whenever I'd get something from those, I was like, this is cool and all, but I'm not going to use it over something else. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was just, I think, an odd miscalculation, just something that maybe nobody thought about when they pushed out seasonal mods. It's cool that those mods were tied to, specific armor sets, but then when you go and think about it, why would you use any other armor set?
Right.
The seasonal armor can use normal mods, and it can use these super powerful seasonal mods like the Charged with Light stuff.
Yeah.
The Warmind Cell mods, which people are finally starting to realize how strong Warmind cells are.
Yeah.
Those things blow everything up. You could go to the what's the forge on Nessus? Gophanon?
Yeah.
Izanami, whichever one is the one on Nessus where like you fight the Vex and you've got the portal and the two side pieces.
Yeah.
You can drop a Warmind Cell on the middle platform, blow it up, and it'll kill things on the side.
That's awesome.
That's how big the stinking explosions on that thing are.
Well, and you can use that with Charged with Light, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You can mix and match those things.
So
it's like,
yeah.
Why would you not use seasonal armor?
Exactly.
Like, I think it was a slight miscalculation there. So a lot of people were bummed, myself included, when they added stuff like faction gear back into the armor loot pool, which you can get from world drops now, and then like for it not to have the seasonal mods on it. It's like, well, I'm never going to put this on because why would I ever put it on? I'm losing a lot of extra power by putting this on. So really happy that they're making that change. Again, if you didn't catch it, the world drop armor, they're going to be making it seasonal mod compatible. I think they even gave us a list of what armor is going to be able to equip what mods, right?
Yeah. So like you have for the Season of Dawn mod slots, you'll get Dead End Cure, Retrograde TG2, the Hyro Camo, Road Complex AA1, Devastation Complex, and High Minded Complex. Those will all get Season of Dawn mods. And then Undying mod slots will go to Red Moon Phantom, Mimetic Savior, Thorium Holt, Tangled Web, Prodigal, Frumius, Noble, Constant Type 2, Ego Talon 4, Errant Knight, Karak Type 2, and Philomath, which there's a lot more armor pieces getting the Undying stuff, which I guess works as long as it can slot the stuff from the raid.
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I hadn't thought about that because I don't think they didn't specify raid mods, did they?
Right.
Those are seasonal.
Yeah. So
I'd imagine it has to, because the seasonal armor we're getting now can slot raid stuff.
Yeah.
Can't it? It can slot like Garden of Salvation stuff.
I don't know. I know Dawn can. The Season of Dawn stuff can. But I don't know about Season of Worthy.
Right. Interesting. Hopefully that is going to include raid gear, or raid mods rather.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why I wouldn't. I think they're all classed as seasonal mods anyway.
I am just waiting for the day where the armor sets aren't so much pure armor sets. Like maybe you get like just a base. It's formless, it's shapeless. It looks like the stars when you load in. But like you get it, it has stats attributed to it, and then all the armor sets outside of exotic are maybe just ornaments. I'm hoping that seems like it would be a better thing down the line, but who knows? They've got to be working on whatever's next for Destiny. They gotta be. It doesn't
100.
seem like this content is large enough for a full team to be working on.
Definitely a very small, focused bit of content releases with this season. And again, that focus was on PvP.
Yeah.
Which I would argue it deserved. We needed some people. Yep. But anyways, really happy about the World Drops thing. I'm very much looking forward to being able to equip that future War Cult trench coat for my Warlock and throw on some seasonal mods. That'll be about what I do when I get that. At least if I can get a decent stat roll on, because Lord knows there's still some awful stat rolls that you can get on armor.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
Quite a bit. So we'll get there. We will definitely get there. So.
All right. I think that was pretty much it for the biggest bits of news this week, right?
That's it for the week, for this week's news. We do have some questions from chat if you'd like to tackle a couple of them.
Let's do it.
All right. So Mega Magwitch asks, which tower NPC do you think could eat the most pancakes during an IHOP all-you-can-eat pancake promotion?
Benedict, because he is an acolyte of Callus, and you see how big Daddy Callus is. I'm betting Benedict could put him away.
I can see him being the guy that's sweeping up the pancake, the pancake party. I don't know. Do Guardians eat? Do they eat?
We can, yes, because Cade was known for eating, ramen.
Okay.
Sandwiches.
But does it provide nourishment? At what point can your ghost transmat? Can the ghost transmat those pancakes out of you?
Are you saying does our ghost transmat our poop?
We have Aura would attest to this. We haven't pooped in 5 years. This would make sense to me. Is if somewhere out in space there is a floating, like, just debris, probably near the reef, where it's just pancakes and guardian matter.
Guardian matter.
Drifting amongst the stars.
Very diplomatic terms there, Dan. Guardian matter. Somewhere. So we're taking it. Maybe that's the darkness.
Yeah.
maybe it's the feces of our past coming to seek vengeance upon us. It is our salvation.
The triangle ship's coming in and you just see it's like a fly hitting the windshield. All right. Whew. Okay. So Kinsey and Moonvault both had kind of the same question. But how are you feeling about this season so far? As a PvE player, I'm not finding much new stuff. And is the grind maybe a little too tedious in PvE?
You're not finding too much stuff in PvE because this isn't really a PvE season.
No.
This is definitely a PvP season where they kind of threw the PvE players a small bone in the form of a repeatable public event. Let's break it down to what it is. It's lost sectors that are much harder because they have, champions just thrown in there.
And even then, at a certain light level, not that much harder.
Once you get to 1,000, you sleepwalk through them in seconds. Especially if you're a hunter, you can just go invisible, sneak to the boss.
Yeah.
Blitz them with whatever you've got and open the chest. Everything's gone. So we've got that. We've got a repeatable daily bunker mission, which I like. I like being able to go and get armor from there. I wish it were, because I think that the drops you get from that are power level adjacent. They're not necessarily a gain. It's like whatever your current level is. I kind of wish that was a powerful drop. I think that might have made it a little bit better in terms of grinding things, especially since they primarily drop armor.
Yeah.
But really, it's a daily mission. It's lost sectors, and it's a public event that you get to. That's the PvE con. So you're not wrong. There's not a lot of PvE stuff, and as for a tedious grind, I would say the most tedious grind going on right now is probably just getting your power level to 1,000.
Yeah.
Once you do that, everything else just waterfall.
Yeah, like, I think getting to 1,000 was tough. But then again, it took me 2 weeks. I've been shut in my house for 2 weeks, though. And so there isn't a lot to do as a PvE player. This season, when I started seeing what the content was going to shape up like this week, I looked at it as, well, when I picked up Season of Dawn, I was like, this is going to be my season to help people more. And while that was true, there was still like it felt like there was a lot more meat on that bone. With this,
oh, absolutely.
With this, it's like, okay, I can stand to help more people do their stuff that they need to get than what I'm necessarily going after, because I really don't need that much in the game now. I've been helping people get xenophages. That was pretty fun. That's been pretty fun.
Yeah, right on.
Because it is stupid on the Garden of Salvation boss, if you have them going. But yeah, I don't know. It's, for me, grinding the bunkers is more of a passive grind. I'm just grabbing the bounties, getting done what I can get done without putting too much focus on it, helping people here and there, and that's how I'm staying in the game. It also might help to play a different game as well. Yeah. If you're starting to get burnt out, there's always other games, and this season is starting to feel like you're going to have time for them. So
I can definitely attest to that. Let me double up on that. Play other games right now. This is a good time to go get caught up in other things. I've been playing a lot of the Tom Clancy's The Division 2 Warlords of New York, having a lot of fun with that. I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. I in preparation for Doom Eternal, I played through Doom again. Yeah. And then I'm playing through Doom Eternal now. I did this. Play other things. You can play other things right now. Now's a good time to do it. Animal Crossing just came out.
Yeah.
Go make a city.
A couple of other shout outs. So like Borderlands 3 just had a DLC drop this past Thursday that I'm really looking forward to getting into. Possibly off stream, probably off stream, just because I know my channel. But like it looks really fun. It looks more serious than anything that Borderlands has done, as serious as Borderlands can get. And then me and my friends locally, my friends actually got hip to Discord this past week.
Really?
And they started a Discord for a poker group that we do once a month. And not only will we be doing that, but we will also be using that Netflix with Friends feature on Google. Yeah. And Drawful 2, I think, is free on Steam right now, which is a great Jackbox game that you can get a whole bunch of hours out of. So
good stuff.
Yeah, good party game. So yeah. But Mills asks, is Trials in trouble if it continues to be the top 1% and have at least the perception of exclusionary and have the perception of being exclusionary to other players, aka early comp?
I guess kind of. I would say the bigger issue isn't the perception of how Trials is. The bigger issue is probably going to be the reward structure and how exactly that incentivizes players to play. It's because people don't look at Trials and say, oh well, I guess that's going to be too sweaty for me. But if they're jumping in there and getting slaughtered because the top level teams are only going for the first 3 wins so that they can get a God rolled Astral Horizon or Summoner or something like that, I think that's going to have more of an effect on people. We already saw some of the numbers drop off after last week. So I think the bigger thing for them is probably going to be, well, the number one thing is going to be fix cheating.
Right.
They've got to fix cheating. That's probably the number one thing that's going to be affecting people in Trials of Osiris. After that, matchmaking with the reward structure, and then from there on, is where everything else would go, I'd say.
Yeah. There's also an interesting Reddit article called Trials of Osiris Skill Gap and Skill Creep, the data so far, by Cincy XBL. I'm going to drop the link in chat for all of you to go check out if you want to. It goes into some of the hard numbers about like the percentage to a 3-win emblem versus the percentage to a flawless emblem. The conclusion, I'll just read the conclusion here. It's like, players of all types are finding difficulty getting wins, though those that have managed to squeak out a win at least once have managed to get a 3-win reward at some point. A subset of players that Light.gg captured, though Braytech did not, experienced either substantially more difficulty getting a week 2 reward than a week 1 reward, or just didn't play as much during week 2. Either way, they see that the data that substantial portions of players are able to find success to some degree, though we might see increasing difficulty for certain players as player habits change.
Yeah.
So, which is suggestive of early onset skill creep in Trials of Osiris. So, it's a pretty interesting read. Go give it a shot. Once again, that link here in the show. So
very good stuff there. Just to bring up something at the end of that question, the issue with early comp was never so much the perception of it. It was the time investment versus reward. The rewards for playing comp were never good enough to justify continually playing comp. We had isolated rewards, stuff like Luna's Howl, Not Forgotten, Recluse, that were really, really good. But after you got those, you had no reason to play comp. None whatsoever. There was not enough reward there. Right now, Trials doesn't have that problem. Trials has great rewards, but it's not incentivizing enough people to play right now because I think a lot of people are having an awful experience in there.
It's not incentivizing enough people to go flawless, which I think...
Yeah, definitely.
That's the main issue, is it's not incentivizing enough people to go flawless because once you get flawless, you get armor, a ship, and a ghost, right?
Yep. No other reason to do it ever again.
Yeah. At least... and we touched on this last week, and I've seen this all over. Like, adept weapons would be really good for Trials.
There has to be something.
You have to create a carrot that people want that isn't necessarily just cosmetic. It has to tie to how you play the game, or else why bother?
Yeah. There needs to be that carrot on the stick incentivizing high skill players to go flawless. In D1, that was the adept weapons. You could get the normal version of the weapons by playing Trials and turning in tokens, which is great. But if you wanted that adept weapon that had the extra perk on it, you had to go flawless. And I think that's probably a change that Bungie should think about making when it comes to Trials here in D2. They should probably consider making some adept weapons and maybe swapping some of the reward structure. I see Moon there talking about it in chat. 100% agree, Moon. I don't think the armor should be the reward for going flawless.
Right.
I think the armor should be something you pick up as you play. Maybe armor should be the guaranteed drop for the third win. Nobody's going to farm armor after they've gotten a decent stat roll.
Yeah.
Rather than, getting a weapon on the third. They definitely need to revamp their reward.
Yeah. Well, and even if you got gear that was pinnacle along the way, so at 3 and 5 wins you get pinnacle gear, but in order to get the weapons and the armor, that would have to be flawless, right? Or if you get pinnacle rewards along that way, it would be from previous weeks that you'd already ground out and then only limited to 1. Not farmable, like we're seeing some of the high end guys doing. So,
I see interesting suggestion for that in chat, saying that maybe you shouldn't get your rewards until you've completed your card.
Yeah.
So if you only get 3 wins, you still got to play your 4 other games to get your stuff. That would be an interesting way to handle it too.
But isn't that the same thing as holding your tokens at till you complete the quest in Iron Banner?
Yep. Yes, it is.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what you need to do at the end of the day, but yeah,
they've got an issue.
Yeah, it's kind of always been an issue, and they've attacked it several different ways, and some ways have worked better than others, and this one's just not killing it.
Right.
So the final question of the evening comes from Pins Halo. The last time a season focused on one specific event was the season of the Drifter, and that seemed to have extremely mixed responses, if he recalls correctly. Do you think that this season may be the same way?
It's certainly very similar. Season of the Drifter, it was technically 2 events. It was Gambit Prime really was the introduction in Season of the Drifter, and The Reckoning. And good Lord, was that an awful time to be a Destiny player. And this season, of course, it's Trials of Osiris, and it's the Seraph Tower and, Seraph Bunkers. So I think there is a parallel there. Although I wouldn't say the Seraph stuff this season is as bad as Reckoning was with the Season of the Drifter. That was just an awful reward structure.
Yeah. It's at least it's not like you and two other people. It's you and however many can fit into an instance. So that's completely fine. But no, this one's super light, and I don't know. I've heard some stuff about possible data mined things that may be coming down the pike. I won't talk about them necessarily, but they sound interesting. I don't know how much it will add to the season, but it's seems fine. Well, I don't know. I'm hoping that next season there's a little bit more meat.
Absolutely. Like next season, I want a raid. It's been long enough. I think it's about time for another raid or something like that. Or Age of Triumph. We say this every week.
Yep.
Why are all the year one raids and raid layers still not on a weekly rotation for powerful or pinnacle rewards right now? Why is that not a thing?
Yeah.
I think there's no feasible explanation for why that isn't a thing right now. All of that content should be on a weekly rotation, just like it was in Age of Triumph for one. So you can still run Garden of Salvation every week for your pinnacle rewards, and then one of the year one raids is on rotation. Or you could throw in the Black Armor re-raid as well, and what was the other one on the Leviathan dropped in Season of Opulence?
Crown of Sorrow.
Crown of Sorrow. You could throw all of those into a weekly rotation.
Yeah.
And drop pinnacle rewards. I think there's no reason for why that hasn't happened yet. And it's about what the game needs.
Yeah, that would be a good quality of life thing. It would rejuvenate older content to feel fresh.
Yep.
And I mean, how many raids are there now in this game? There's like 7, right?
Leviathan, Spire of Stars, Eater of Worlds, the Crown of Sorrow,
Scourge of
Garden
the Past,
Scourge of the Past, and is that it?
No, you're missing one. You're missing one.
6 or 7.
No, it's the one Dreaming City raid.
Oh, of course, Last Wish.
Yeah,
Last
the best
Wish,
one.
Of course.
The best
one. How did I forget it? I haven't run it for so long. Of course. Everybody's favorite Bay Riven. So there's 7 raids in the game right now. I think you could take 6 of those and put them in a weekly rotating playlist.
Yeah.
And incentivize people to run and get that. That's instantly a couple of months worth of content.
Well, and more pinnacles into the pool, allowing people who are still devoted, quote unquote, and playing the game, to at least reward them for running those activities. Because right now, running those activities, I think the most that you can get out of it is that you get the mod slot. Yep. And I think on the Crown of Sorrow gear is where you can get the Hive mods that you can use in Pit of Heresy to kind of boost you around. I don't know. It's interesting.
It's perfectly viable content that's in the game right now that I think people would be happy to see come back. Yeah. Just like, when they did it in Age, I'm keep saying it every week, Bungie, until it happens. Just like in Age of Triumph, everybody was psyched. I still remember when they first announced that. And they announced that, stuff like Crota's End was coming back. Stuff like the Vault of Glass was coming back. Fantastic. And it created what was the best rotation of PvE content in Destiny's history. And I think it's about time we got that in.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, and Dr. Jones brings up he said you can get the Hive mods in Menagerie though too, and the Black Armor you can get the forges and use them to forge gear. I think the big thing is like for Pinnacle, for actual reward that matters towards your progression outside of the meta game of trying to get stuff for future loadouts. I don't know. I think power level is different, right? So yeah.
Here's hoping we get that sometime in the future. So that has to be on the docket.
Yeah.
That has to be one of the ideas that they've got to extend this game's lifespan until the next content release or next game release.
Legendary Forges, Legendary Menageries.
Yeah.
Something.
Man, like a refresh of Menagerie, bringing it up to current power levels and allowing you to use your chalice that you spent so much time building up. The best reward system Destiny's ever had. Maybe filling that stuff up and bringing it up to current power levels. Hell, maybe even adding some new stuff to the reward pool for the Menagerie. I think would be they've got the things they need to keep players placated for the future. I think they've got the things they need. Yeah. It's a matter of doing it.
Yeah.
Who knows? We're not.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we will get an Age of Triumph soon, and all those things, all those challenges will become triumphant instead. A triumphant forge, a triumphant menagerie. Come on.
Yeah, I'd love it. It writes itself.
It writes itself. Bungie, if you're looking for somebody to come up with ideas, I'm an idea person. But you know who's a better idea person? The man who has hosted this show for as long as I can remember. TBL.
Patrick Casey?
Ultimate? No, you.
Oh.
You. I was trying to give you a compliment.
Oh, well, my bad. I don't take those. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
We'll see what the future holds.
Yeah.
I like that. Triumph. Make the content triumphant. I like it.
Triumphant. Yeah.
It's a good way to put it. But all right, is that the last question we've got for this week?
That is the last question for the week, and I think that's a show.
Well, right on. I do believe that's a show. For a week with a little bit less content, we had a little bit of a shorter episode, although I don't think anybody here is complaining about that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to episode 233 of the Planet Destiny podcast. I like this one. It was nice and concise, Dan.
Yeah.
Got through everything we need to get through.
Yeah, I have fun talking with you guys. We got through everything we needed to get through, quick and dirty.
Quick
and dirty.
Just the way we like it. But all right, before we get on out of here for the week, we're going to let you know where you can find us all across the internet. Mr. Danfinity, where are you at?
Hi, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Danfinity, but the eyes are else. You can find me on Twitch. I don't even know how many days a week I'm going to be live this week. I have no idea. I'm off until May 4th now, so anything can happen. Side Quests, the podcast where I talk with guests and talk about the news of games that I like, airs every Friday. This past week, I talked with Jenny for about half an hour about possibly haunted rooms in our house. The time this past week a bat got in and we captured it, and then her work from home experience. So
that sounds fantastic. I want to hear Dan's spooky ghost stories.
So I'll tell you some after the show.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, my name is The Black Link. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at The Black. This coming week is probably going to be more of the same. I don't think there's really anything too big happening in Destiny 2 other than Mayhem, I think, is going live this current week. So expect some Mayhem nonsense in your sub box. So we're going to be playing a lot more of Tom Clancy's The Division 2, Warlords of New York. Still having a lot of fun in that expansion for that game. I basically spend all my time making experimental builds from different gear sets and weapons and whatnot, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So many different options for the type of player you want to be. If you want to be a tank, you can be a tank. If you want to be a DPS person, you can be a glass cannon DPS. If you want to be a healer, you can sit back and just shoot little chem launchers into the butts of your teammates to give them an immediate 1.4 million health. It's great. I love it. It's my type of game, and I'm really enjoying it right now. And of course, we've got Monster Hunter World. So make sure you're tuning in for all that. Of course, the Planet Destiny YouTube channel, youtube.com/Planet Destiny. That is where I'll be putting up all the news videos and our guide videos and reviews and all that kind of stuff from everybody who works for that channel. Will be good. But all right, everybody, that is it for this one. Thank you all so much for tuning in to episode 233 of the Planet Destiny podcast, your guide to this week in Destiny. We'll catch you all next week. Bye, everybody.